What's up, you guys? Q here. Welcome back to KZ Corner. It's been a minute since I've been able to make like a video like this. And I'm sitting down, like usually in my TikToks and everything. I'm standing up, but this time I decided to sit down. It's just easier to edit. Okay. And like easier to edit. Maybe I'll be standing up the next one. Who knows? I don't know. But in any case, mostly this will just be me yapping at you about something that I found very interesting. So as of late, we have gotten developing news on what is now being known as Project R.E.D. We haven't gotten too many details about it outside of the fact that, you know, and everybody else has talked about this outside of the way that the costume is going to look, kind of like a description of how the hero is going to look, the fact that it's going to be a hero, the fact that it's going to be something more of like in the lines of like we got like two main characters as like a Don-esque type walk you through the story type thing, and they're building a universe over this. That's major details. Is just that Project R.E.D. is just the name. It's not like the character as far as I'm understanding right now. It's just the umbrella over which all of these stories will be told. Now, this kind of popped in my brain, and this thought came as I was waiting for information to come out about this, because if you don't know, if you haven't already heard, we know that Super Sentai itself is ending with its 50th anniversary season, Go Juju, right? Which I've been enjoying. Yes, there's been a little bit of scandal. I don't really support the agency that's doing what they did to Go Juju Unicorn Black character. Sorry, I'm gonna have her name right here, but I do support her. But I'm still watching the series because that's the thing. Like, I'm still watching the series. She's in most of it. And while they had to recast her and everything, which was kind of lame, there's still like only like 7-ish episodes left. I don't know. It's almost over, so I'm finishing it. But and it's been okay so far. I mean, people have had their complaints, but whatever. It's when I heard the information, Hercules and Force Play, I think. I don't know. That's wild. That if that's I don't know how to say his name, but like these YouTubers, I got the information from them, and I just kind of waited for things to develop and did my own research. And from everything that I can tell, it kind of reminds me of Ultra Q. So Ultra Q came out before probably anybody watching this video was born, including myself. And it was like the start of the Ultraman franchise, which I'm probably going to start watching Ultraman for real. I never really gave it that much of a try outside of like when they had Ultraman Tiga on Fox Box when I was a kid, and and I liked it, but I didn't really know much about it. And then I saw episodes of Orb and RB, and I was just all like, I think I want to actually watch Ultraman. But anyway, I diverged from my point here. Ultra Q was like the beginning of that, right? And then from that kind of came Ultraman and all the stuff that went under that flag. It kind of, to me, seems like, and from what information we have, that they are going in the route of like just telling all of these stories. And if you've ever seen Don to Don, I don't know if I can recommend it or not. It's a little sus. There's things in there that I'm not comfortable with, but their story beat, their pattern is they're encountering all these different things. Like this, a few episodes ago, they were fighting a kaiju, like in a Megazord type stuff, and it was crazy. They had the epic fight scenes and all that stuff that you would get out of a normal like shonen thing, but it just seems like you're following Okarun and I forget the girl's name, but it feels like you're just following those guys and they're going through all these different adventures. I've never read the manga, so I don't I'm not so familiar, but I have been sort of kind of watching on and off what's been happening in Dandadan, but it seems like it's giving me those type of story vibes. Like the Ultra Q thing comes into play to where it spawned Ultraman, right? And all the monsters that are associated with that universe. Project Red could be doing the exact same thing. We've gotten reports of a new magical school team of Rangers, or essentially a Sentai team, like coming out. They're probably just not going to be called that. That's going to be associated with this story, which the story is like first going to be focused on a Red Space Sheriff Gavin type character, and then this support character. And I'm all for it. Like, give us this new Space Sheriff Gavin Infinity or whatever it's called. I'm down for that because I've loved Space Sheriff Gavin. But it sounds like we're gonna see stories with these characters, stories with the team that's supposed to be inside of the universe. And I don't find a reason to be like upset about any of this stuff. I think that from this point, we're probably just going to get a universe surrounding all of this stuff. Like, and it's going to be like a holistic universe. I think this may be their attempt at doing sort of like an Avengers-esque type universe. And if because of what I believe Hercules reported on, like where they finally air something like this in the United States too, because they went through the trouble of having English translation. There was a whole lot of everything going on like that involved with this. They didn't just release the name in Japanese and the promos in Japanese. They actually did an English version of it too, which is why we know that it's called Project Red. So my thinking is, because of the success of Zets and how that's going, they're all like, hey, let's try this out with this new thing, because they're not under some kind of contract where they have to only air it on Japanese television and can't do anything like a streaming service or whatever. So they're all like, well, let's build a new universe. Let's do that. Now, that's just because Super Sentai is coming to an end. That's not to say that we're not going to see them again, because Space Sheriff Gavin is highly associated with like Gokaiger, and you know, they've all met up before in the Battle Taizens, right? Or the Super Battle Taizen, whatever it's called. Kamen Rider and everybody as well. So there is the possibility that they'll do that crossover lane, like all these little stories and universes that coexist in the same thing, and Kamen Rider and Super Sentai exist in there as well. We're just not getting like a Super Sentai series anymore. You feel me? So it might be them attempting this like Avengers-esque, let's assemble all these characters, and at the end of the season, at the end of the first season, they all meet up in a team up or something like that. There's mad potential with this. I'm not mad at this. They've been cooking with this formula for with the Super Sentai and Kamen Rider formula for a minute, but it's cool to see them trying something new after what, like half a century? They've been around for 50 years, man. And like, you know, it would be cool to see that crossover happen organically like that, instead of them having to like explain away a bunch of different things. Because usually when they do crossovers, they're all like, oh, you're in a different dimension, or oh, you're or this team came from a different planet, or oh, this team came from a different reality. Like, you won't have to do that now, because everybody will coexist within that universe and working as universal heroes, I guess is what we thought, I guess it was going to be called. Maybe it's still going to be called that. But for now, we know that Project Red is going to be the umbrella of all these things happening. If you made it to the end of this video and you enjoy this content, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We finally got to, which is not a big accomplishment. There's a little fuzzy on the mic, which is not a super big accomplishment for everybody, but I like to celebrate my milestones. We got to 25 people that actually like watching this content, you guys. Let's give it up. Let's go. And considering I don't really make too many videos and I'm just getting into it, that's awesome. Like, I appreciate you guys for being here. But if you haven't, like, share, subscribe. for more content like this. I do a bunch of shorts, and you can go to the TikTok, follow that. I will be releasing more videos, you know, when I'm not touring or working a 9 to 5. Like, that's life. I sing for a band, you feel me, and I rap. Like, what do you want? Thank you guys. Till next time, let's rock it.